And then philosophically, I mean, I studied philosophy, and I couldn't see how you could find a reason to be good in a world without that external, conscious, that external requirement. Because science, evolution, we're animals. There is no objective reason why someone should be anything other than selfish. If without God there, why wouldn't I just live my best life for my own pleasure? And it really wasn't until I started reading people like Steven Pinker, How the Mind Works, where he introduced me to evolutionary psychology and this notion that actually this, red in tooth and claw world of Darwinian evolution can often create beings that are kind and generous and altruistic and actually act in the interests of others in their species, sometimes even at the risk of their own lives. Well, that's weird. How did that happen? There's actually an ongoing scientific debate about how exactly it happened, but there's several plausible pathways. And, one is just that if you have a species that has a memory and you have instances where there are asymmetric opportunities to be kind. In other words, by that I mean it's easy for the effort to be kind. So say to share a piece of meat that I've obtained from a carcass that, I won't be able to eat all of it anyway. To share that piece of meat with a neighbor who's hungry, that's a powerful thing to do because they will remember that. It was easy for you to do. And then next week, they may share it back with you. And so you get this sort of reciprocal effects happening. And it's plausible to imagine how a species could evolve this whole group of feelings around this of, I want to help that person. I also want to hold that person to account. Like no one, no human society likes freeloaders or cheaters. We all have the sense of fairness. We want to be kind, but we also want people to respond appropriately. So anyway, so this was the amazing. So that was one thing that happened, was that I saw that intellectually. The other thing that happened was that I just saw numerous people who weren't religious being spectacularly good, doing amazing work. And then other reasons happened to take away my faith. Just the implausibility of a God who was both good and controlled everything, and yet look at the world and the nastiness that's there. So I came away from religion, but still felt passionately that it was, a key point of life was to seek to be your best self. And one of the delightful pieces that emerges from the science is that if you do that, you actually will be happier. You actually end up with a more satisfied life. That last bit is a bit that I think is way underreported, and I think it's absolutely fine to think of generosity as in the long-term interest of the giver. We've always said it's always been that way. Actually, give and you shall receive. Give and your reward will be in heaven. Whatever that. All of those things are basically framing generosity in a way that is in the long-term interest of the giver. So it's rational to do it as well as good to do it. And I wish more people knew just how deep that feeling is.